All right, we back. Marcy Sports Talk. We in the building. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. All my social media links in the description. You want to reach me out for video requests or you want to advertise your business on the channel. So let's get to it and check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist for more videos like this. And, boy Elijah was like, hey, man, you should do a video predicting the starting five. And I'm like, with the Pistons, I'm like, for sure, I was going to do it. Thinking about doing it, but let me do it right now. That got to be a sign from the universe to go ahead and get that out the way. And I pulled up the roster, got an official roster, got some guys that may or may not make it. People was like, video I did yesterday on LiAngelo, boy, you hating on LiAngelo? I'm like, what? I'm hating on LiAngelo, boy, how? You know what I'm saying? But shit, I'm a huge fan of LaMelo Ball. Huge fan of Lonzo Ball. So where's the hate coming from? But it is what it is. Looking at this roster, you got some wild cards. You're talking about Sadiq Bey, Josh Jackson, Musa. I mean, people saying you got to get Sivi Malachi. I'm gonna call him Malachi, or Sivi. He's another wild card. Diambo, Isaiah Stewart's another one. Jesus, got a lot of guys that could be in the rotation or be far out the rotation. And I'm gonna give you my prediction on what they may do. I'm gonna give you what I would do. Two different things. But looking at the roster, I said it before, I think they tanking. Okay, I don't think this team is gonna win. You got 72 games. I don't think they're gonna be a 35-win team, 37. I think they're gonna be around 20, 25 games. My whole thing is best case scenario. If Blake Griffin stay healthy and Derrick Rose stay healthy for majority of the tilt of the slate, then they got a chance. But then again, I just don't think that's gonna happen. All right. And then, best case scenario that they get there, then you look at a situation where it's probably Josh Jackson got to come in and contribute. All three rookies don't have to contribute and, play with above their potential or play, fast play. They have to be tracking pretty much above the expectations the team, the coaches, and everybody expect them to be at that point. But y'all talk about Killian for a minute. A lot of people say you throw Killian in. 19-year-old Tony Parker got thrown in, and he talked about in his book, you look this up, that Tim Duncan didn't want him. He started like 72 games out of the 77 games he played this rookie season. His numbers wasn't sexy or nothing of that nature. He averaged about 9 points a game, 2 or 3, 4 assists a game, a few rebounds. Didn't shoot well from the free throw line, below 70%. That's horrible for a guard. But the next year, he averaged 15 points, and then it went up, So 19 years old, Tony Parker was doing it. But then again, Tony Parker was just a different savage, a different animal. He was just a different breed. His handles, his quickness, the ability to get to the rim, finishing the rim. And then he worked on his craft. What Killian got, he ain't have as far as a jump shot and being 6'5". So, but what Killian don't got, he got. He's talking about agility, end-to-end speed. I mean, you talking about the Spurs developing a player in Tony, and the Pistons, who have they really developed? They have some guys that developed elsewhere, that they may have nourished and they may have put the fertilizer and gave the sunlight and watered it. But then again, Aaron Aflalo pretty much blossomed somewhere else. Middleton blossomed somewhere else. Dinwiddie blossomed somewhere else. So we can go on and on about those type of guys. And you can make a situation that this is a new era, but it's been the same thing through Tom Gores from Bill Davidson. They don't really do well with guys that may be ready. Like Tayshaun Prince was ready. 4-year starter for Tubby Smith. What tougher college coach at the time can you get, better coaching from and be more prepared? 4-year starter, had the height, had the length, was strong enough. We seen all that when he stopped at T-Mac. They didn't want to play him. Darko Milicic. One of the reasons Darko busted wasn't because of just Darko. A guy like Darko, his confidence failed. Being far away from home, not playing, getting beat up by Rasheed and Ben Wallace during his tenure while he here. I mean, that got his confidence down. Became an alcoholic. Some guys, you got to get out there and you got to put them out and do their thing. And I think them young guys that's 19, 18, 20 years old, like Sebastian Telfair, he didn't understand why the Blazers didn't pass him the rock to begin with. And that hurt his confidence. And, them young guys, sometimes, you got to throw them in. Some of them got the mindset to persevere. But you're talking about Killian Hayes, man, maybe they should throw him in. But Dwayne Casey said the other day, or yesterday I read, that wasn't nothing be given to him. He got to earn it. And do I think he an NBA player right now? Absolutely not. I didn't like him. I had like 20-some prospects that I like better than him. Some of them win the second round. And we'll see. I wasn't a fan of him, but then again, I'm not going to just hate on him where he can't, where I don't want him to do well. Well, he a Piston. I hope he become the greatest French player, the greatest player in NBA history, and take us to multiple championships. And that's the case, then shit, I don't have a problem admitting when I'm wrong. But, when I see from him, I just see a player that got a lot to do as far as working on this game. I don't think he's ready to start right now, but if he busting Derrick Rose and DeLon Wright, which I think those are 2 point guards that's better than him right now. I think DeLon Wright is underrated, and I think he didn't blossom. He just ain't got a chance. Love his handles, love his ability to score. And don't sleep on DeLon Wright coming in. If Derrick Rose go down and he don't play well, he get moved. Don't sleep on DeLon Wright getting buckets, because I think DeLon Wright, and this is the best case scenario in my brain, in my mind, I think DeLon Wright can have a Chauncey Billups revival. Just given a chance. He's a phenomenal player, I believe. That the NBA just passed up on. Same thing with Dennis Smith Jr. I think Dennis Smith Jr. could be top 5, top 10, point guard potential. But then again, he getting killed by the Knicks. But for Killian, do you say, what? He 19. Let's sit him like Diambo. You can't sit him to the G League. It may not be a G League this year. Sit him a couple of years. He got to get stronger. Work on his handles or whatever. Do you say that? Or do you say, what? Let's sit him half the season, work him out, get stronger. The other half, we flip Derrick Rose or whatever, and let him have the team. Or do you tell the veterans in that locker room, because basically most of them not going to be here if this is going to be a complete championship team, like Malachi and DeLon Wright and Josh Jackson, even though it's not the same position. If you do Dwayne Casey, do you send a message that, shit, we just trying to tank, and I'm going to play the young guys, Stewart, Bay, Sivy, I'm going to play those guys. Would that be your message? I'm not really hurting no feelings, because I don't expect DeLon Wright or Blake Griffin or Derrick Rose to be part of a championship team 5 or 6 years from now on this squad. I don't expect it. Some of the young guys, they all going to bond together and understand it. And maybe even Josh Jackson, he's still a young guy. So you got a couple messages that you send into that locker room, and I don't think the locker room is something that's going to be a problem down the road. It may be a problem in the moment when you get a job to Killian coming off the above Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose feeling some type of way. And people say, well, Derrick Rose like coming off the bench. Then again, if that's the case, what if DeLon Wright better than Killian Hayes? I'm 110% sure he way better than Killian Hayes right now. You send a message to DeLon Wright that we starting Killian, we just playing young guys, and F what you think. Could be the case. Maybe he don't be around a couple years and it don't matter. So it's just looking at it that way. But my whole thing about it, it's a lot of young guys. What you get off of DeVitis, whatever dude, they just got a 3-year deal. Musa, what you get out of him? And in my mind, Diambo got to start. Ain't no pulling Diambo off the bench. And they talking about, what about Jeremy Grant and what you pay him? Jeremy Grant been coming off the bench for OKC and Denver. He was going to come back off the bench in Denver, I think, to begin with. Because you think what? Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, Jokic, Millsap. So maybe he could have played. He should have started there, but you probably say he's starting. Automatically just because what he getting paid. Blake starting. You probably say Miles Plumlee starting. So really at that point, is it Sivy and D Rose in the backcourt? Sivy, Killian in the backcourt? Is it Derrick Rose and Killian in the backcourt? So that's the question. You know what I'm saying? I just think Dwayne Casey is going to go Derrick Rose early on. Probably you could play Josh Jackson at the 2, but I think they're going to kind of wait and see what kind of player he is. I think pretty much Sivy, Malachi, he'll be the 2. I think the 3 is probably going to be Jeremy Grant, the 4 Blake Griffin, and the 5 Mason Plumlee. I keep calling him Miles Plumlee. But I think that's going to be their starting lineup, and that's what they're going to go with. But I don't understand how you can't play Dion. But I never understood, if you wasn't going to flip Blake Griffin, why'd you bring Jeremy Grant here? So I wouldn't understand that lineup. What I would do personally, but let's talk about that lineup for a minute. And the kind of what the rotation, what it's going to be for him. And remember last year, Dwayne Casey didn't want to play, Diambo until injuries happened. Didn't want to play Christian Wood until injuries happened. His premise is, if you can't show it to me in practice, you ain't playing. So, to be honest, it may be a situation where Bay, Stewart, and Killian all sitting at the end of the bench. Musa, DeVitis, they could be sitting at the end of the bench. You could roll with, the 5 by name, Diambo coming off the bench, Jackson coming off the bench, I don't know who. I guess Stewart Wood. I don't know what other big guys they got. I can't remember. But whatever, maybe Stewart getting in rotation. But it's probably gonna be just thinking like him, DeLon, Jackson, probably them two guys coming off the bench first. It's a good question. And if he made the team, probably Jahlil Okafor. I keep forgetting we got him. So he could be somebody that probably be DeLon, Jackson, and Okafor will probably be the first three off the bench. But then again, we know Blake Griffin ain't going to be healthy. We know D Rose probably not going to be healthy the whole season. So it depends on what the rookies earn. I think Stewart, it got a chance to crack the rotation, if he can stay out of foul trouble. But historically, what we know about Dwayne Casey, he ain't playing no young guys unless injuries force it. So I think the top 5 guys playing is going to be veterans. I think the first 3 off the bench is going to be veterans. And then you might see Killian or Stewart, or I think Bay would probably be the best bet to be in the rotation. So then you see those guys come off the bench. But, if they have some injuries early, Derrick Rose injured, I think DeLon Wright and Killian Hayes is going to be right in the rotation. Blake Griffin get injured, Diambo. But me personally, what would I do? Easily, I would start Derrick Rose. Because I'm not a fan. I don't think Killian can play. And I could be wrong, but I start Derrick Rose, Diambo at the 2. And people say, who can Diambo play the 2? You figure it out. Don't know positions guard each other no way. I'm just saying you got to play Grant. I say Plumlee in the middle. I say Blake starting for right now at the 4, and then Grant at the 3. So personally, I think that's what they gonna do. But that's one of the options that I would go with. Excuse me, but that's just my opinion. I go in there. I start Stewart. Just saying what I would do. I start Stewart. I start Killian. I start Diambo at the 3. Blake at the 4. I bring Griffin off the bench. And I start Sivy at the 2. At some point. But that's probably what I would roll with, or the first option if everybody healthy. So this is my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video request. All my social media links, description. Fast way to reach me is Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram. If you got a business question, inquiry, video request, or you want to advertise your business on the channel, check me out at the social media links in the description. Also, for our live stream, check us out at Sportscastr. Links in the description. Click the link, create a profile. It's free. All my live streams I do in the world are there regarding sports. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJGood313. That's in the description. PayPal link in the description as well. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Mercy Sports Talk with y'all.